Assalamu alaikum, everyone, and welcome to Market Talk with the Musaffa, your weekly deep dive into halal investing, where faith meets finance. We're on a mission to halalify investment world, one stock at a time, inshallah. Let's explore the market through halal lens, uncovering opportunities that align with your values and your future. And thank you everyone for joining. Today's is our next session with our incredible crowd who comes and then enjoys this market talk, communicates with us through their likes, emojis, and lots of nice comments and questions, and we're happy to answer those. As usual, we have our wonderful guest, my brother Shah, my colleague, who is really good at the research, analyzing and sharing his thoughts. Very knowledgeable. I enjoy having these market talks with him, so he's our guest. We of course working on bringing all different guests, but of course my favorite guest is going to remain as Brother Shah. So enjoy conversations with him. Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much. So today's topic is AI supercharged, strategic deals, market winners, and what investors should watch. So we're exploring how major AI related deals and partnerships are shaping market in 2026, from tech titans teaming up to geopolitical trade deals, which is unlocking dominance in chips and computer infrastructure, which is AI related. So we also have written very nice 2 articles and posted on Musaffa Academy. Please check academy.musaffa.com, and you will see there the first article is historic agreement. Apple integrates Google Gemini. Is this the biggest boost to AI yet? And another article is US-Taiwan mega trade deal unlocks NVIDIA's AI dominance. So, which discusses the recent US-Taiwan trade deal, and its impact, of course, on NVIDIA. So these interesting topics are going to be our focal point today, and we want everyone enjoy and our conversation with Brother Shah. But before I jump in our discussions, so please make sure you to support us, to show your cheering and supporting us. Please leave in comments which country you are from, where you're joining from. If you have any questions, please leave your questions. Any likes and emojis are appreciated. Please be active with any questions or any comments. We stay focused to delivering this wonderful market talks with Musaffa to you, tailored to you as well. So let's dive into these interesting topics. Right, Brother Shah, how are you today?
Right. Alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum to all of our viewers and to you as well, Brother Renath. Like you said, always happy to be here. Love being here. Love having these talks with you. And yeah, excited to get into it.
Thank you so much. Yes. Great. And I as it is our one of our mornings, right? It's Saturday morning, so we're both drinking coffee, as I can see, enjoying our time with the coffee. So let me go to the heart of the questions of this AI related today's topic, right? So, and let me see also from time to time. I want to see if anyone is having any. Okay, so we have hearts and thank yous on our chats already. It's coming from Facebook. Alhamdulillah, super happy to see that. It's from Mazamba Deba, who's watching us. Alhamdulillah, thank you so much. And with that small boost, we can start our questions. One thing I don't want to forget to remind: today's is a very special day. Don't miss it, because we're going to announce it in a little bit. I want to leave it as like as a surprise for everyone. So just tune in, and I will let you know that we have a special day today, and we have special announcement for you today. So, Brother Shah, the first question goes to you, because we just learned that Apple and Google Gemini is partnership, right?
Mhm.
So what makes this partnership historic in the AI space, and how does it like a differ from past AI collaborations?
Great question. Great question. So the world we're kind of living in, especially on the tech side of things, is there's a little bit of a technological or an AI arms race, right? You have these AI companies all making their models, expanding into more frontier, highly developed models, and there's a competition in terms of the specs for those models, in terms of revenue, in terms of clients. So it's a highly competitive field right now at that level. And what makes this deal so historic is it's you have a huge, highly valued company like Market with a huge user base and huge use cases for potentially for any AI, making a deal with Google, which is again another huge company with a huge name in this space. So it's really a historic deal in terms of the size. It's these two titans sort of agreeing to shake hands. Apple, of course, is already working and has been working on its internal AI infrastructure as well, but this is huge news for Google, and it's a problem sort of tactically for Google's competitors and other competitors in the AI space. Because this deal
Mhm.
going to Google for Apple to integrate Gemini into its systems obviously means that Apple isn't using any of Google's competitors, right? There was talks,
Mhm.
according to Bloomberg and others, that people at Apple Park, people working at Apple were already using Claude and other
Mhm.
AI softwares as well. And they were in talks to use those, but Google beat them out. And most importantly, Google beat them out on price. So it shows
Mhm.
you at this stage when there's a competition for revenue, that means there's also a competition in terms of efficiency. Who can drive
Mhm.
costs down the cheapest is going to be the one who can secure more clients, who can generate more revenue. And more revenue,
Mhm.
of course, means more money to spend in R&D and improve our models. So
Yeah.
this is a huge deal for Google, and it's a huge concern for its competitors.
Yeah, very, very good analysis. Thank you. Just want to take you a little bit, your own view on, that we always got frustrated. I don't know if you use, but I always was frustrated with Siri's performance. Have you known that Siri is like the worst of all AIs that it talks to? Maybe
Yeah,
if you take Alexa or so many other ones, which everyone was saying like they perform very well and then they're very intelligent, but Siri was always like a dumb one. I don't want to like degrade it by this, but Siri's performance was not as high level as others. So
100%.
what your take on it? Like then maybe that was the Apple confessed that we cannot develop AI that as well as others, so we need to partner.
100%. Great point. And yeah, people are probably going to see as this deal rolls out in coming months and years, a change in Siri, hopefully for the better. Because yeah, Apple had its own AI. It's been working on. It's still working, and it's still working on that AI infrastructure. It's important to note. This deal doesn't mean that Apple has given up and has outsourced this completely and forever. They're still
Mm-hmm.
spending, I think, in recent report, in their most recent filing, they spent 10.9 billion that quarter on research and development. So they're still
Mm-hmm.
working. It's still a priority for them, but I think they realized right now it's not up to scratch. So it makes more sense for them as a company to go to someone whose AI is more up to scratch. So this is
Mm-hmm.
probably going to be great for City. Interestingly, also some viewers might find interesting. I believe in China, there's still some restrictions, so they won't be able to actually to integrate Chat GPT. Oh, sorry, not Chat GPT, Google Gemini in Siri over there. So they'll have to use a Chinese model over there. But
Mm-hmm.
either way, it shows you that Apple is sort of aware its own models aren't quite there yet, and so it's looking
Mm-hmm.
to temporarily for the next few years potentially outsource those while it sort of brings its internal infrastructure up to where it wants it to be.
Yeah, and I can see that how the this market is shifting from one to another. No one thought at the beginning when the OpenAI came, and then everyone was comparing with the Google's older AI developments, how they were behind so much, and now you can see this great deal coming up. It's completely shifting, right? And then
100%.
problems with OpenAI recently, and they're saying that it may lose the market. It was like too expensive to sustain, etc. Right?
Exactly, exactly. And like we discussed a little bit, this is a frontier market. So this is bleeding edge, cutting edge technology. So it's constantly shifting. And right now, Google might have the edge, but the sand is something that always moves out from under your feet. So you never know what's going to happen tomorrow. A few weeks ago,
Exactly.
everyone on the internet was talking about Claude and its coding capabilities. I remember, I think it was 2024 when OpenAI was at the top of the field, and then out of nowhere, you had DeepSeek come out and outperform all the Western models. And so it's a
Exactly.
constantly shifting scene.
Yeah, and Grok recently is bragging that it's better than anyone in terms of many cents,
Exactly.
etc. So so much of competition there, right? Okay,
100%.
so why would so I guess we discussed why Apple chose the Google Gemini as a foundation, but a quick question there. So then if Apple drops its core development into AI, and then so much becomes dependent on Google, uh, how the future looks like, because all these big companies, they want to have their own strong AI R&D, and then behind an engine that drives them, that puts them in the strong competitor, right? Because everything is going to be connected with AI. If you don't have your own AI, then you're dependent on others' AIs, and sort of like you need to develop, and then that's like spend, right? Um,
100%.
then Apple is completely going from the competition of AI. It's not going to ever develop, because if it starts becoming more dependent on Google Gemini, it may say, "Why do we even I need to spend on this?" Right?
That's a good point.
So.
It's a good point. It's not right now. It's not part of their tactical or strategic plans. Like I said, they still want to do it in house. They're still spending lots of money, right? 10.9 billion in one quarter, based on what I read most recently. So they're still putting a lot of money into building that infrastructure. Even them integrating Google's AI, they're doing it on their own internal security infrastructure. So they're very important, very big on doing things in house where they can. It's just that they realize they are not at that level right now. But again, at the end of the day, they're a business. So if in a couple of years this deal is going well, and if they're not able to catch up in terms of their AI models, maybe that's a decision their management makes. That like maybe it's better for us, maybe it's more efficient for us to not make an AI model, or to just make a longer term deal with Google or someone else. So that's
Mhm.
definitely something that could happen. But right now, that doesn't seem to be what Apple wants to do. Right now, this seems like a personal, sorry, not a personal, but a partial, part-time, temporary fix while they work on their
Mhm.
internal infrastructure.
Understood. Okay, thank you. Thank you for your thoughts on it. Now let me take you to another part of the AI world, which is related more with hardware, right?
Mhm.
With this big deal between the U.S. and Taiwan mega trade deal, and then so what are the key market impacts of this deal for NVIDIA and its main suppliers?
Great question. So this deal is huge. It's huge in terms of this market specifically, but other markets and also just politics, geopolitics,
Mm-hmm.
international relations. It's a deal, and also this the direction of this deal, the way things are going. I think it also points to, like we said, how quickly shifting and volatile and exciting this space really is. Um,
Yeah.
so for those who don't know what really happened, or my background's going crazy, but what happened is the United States and Taiwan have reached a deal. So Taiwanese companies are going to be investing around up to 250 billion US dollars into expanding their fabrication units in the United States, so increasing their the part of their supply chain that's in the United States, and have an additional 250 billion dollars in credit for those companies to expand further in the United States. So this is a huge deal for companies like Nvidia, which their number one supplier of microchips,
Mhm.
semiconductor chips, is TSMC in Taiwan. And so it's a huge deal for them in two ways. First of all, they don't have to rely less on the import. Secondly,
Mhm.
because part of the deal also includes reduced tariffs, especially for
Mhm.
companies that are operating in the US as well, which includes TSMC. So it's going to
Yeah.
reduce costs for NVIDIA, drive up its profit margin, but also it reduces risk because Taiwan is geopolitically such a sensitive location that there is this constant fear of what if China what happens in the event of a Taiwan crisis, right? If there's a blockade of Taiwan, or if China moves to take Taiwan by force. Not saying that's going to happen. This is not an opinion on that, but if that happens, then what happens to my supply chain? What happens to those
Yeah.
chips I was importing?
Yeah.
And so having more of that supply chain be in the United States reduces that
Mm,
geopolitical risk for company for
I see.
Nvidia and other companies like Nvidia. It
Yeah.
doesn't reduce the risk entirely, because what TSMC does is they have an N2 rule. So they might
Mm,
be increasing fabrication in the United States, they might be improving it in the United States, but they're deliberately and are likely to continue keeping it at least one, if not two generations behind Taiwan itself. So that's what the N2
mm,
rules is. It means what we're
mm,
making in the United States, we'll improve output, we'll help, we'll invest, but we're going to keep it two generations behind TSMC. So there's still that
mm,
reliance on Taiwan.
mm. That's great. That's very smart politics, I believe. But I
100%.
looked a little bit TSMC's market share. It says it's more than 70% or even more, 74% of the whole market of this delivering the semiconductor chips. It's amazing. I didn't know that the number is that much.
Yeah,
You
it's
know.
really, really concentrated. And briefly, I can explain. So there's the chips are ranked based on like how small you get. So
Mhm.
TSMC makes the most cutting edge, best chips in the world. So they're right now making 2 nanometer size chips, which
Wow.
there's other companies who are trying to get there, but they're not really there. China is still at around the 7 to 5 nanometer range, for example.
Mm.
And TSMC is still developing further. So they're launching, I believe, in
Wow.
2027. Yes, in 2027, they're going to be launching 1.4 nanometer chips. So they're so far ahead, and that sort of shows. So when these companies like Nvidia, like any other company that needs advanced tech, even militaries are going to be needing these things. When they need the cutting edge, the only place they can go is TSMC, because everyone's
Yeah.
at least a generation behind them. That
Yeah.
gap might be closing, however. So in Japan, there's a company called Rapidus. In South Korea, you have Samsung. Both of these
Mhm.
companies are working also on getting to that 2 nanometer or 1.4 nanometer chip around 2028, 2029. So they're only roughly a year and a half behind TSMC, and they're hoping to catch up. So you never know.
Yeah, and you know what I also read about TSMC's. It's not only expanding to U.S., but it's expanding to Japan and Germany too, for secure supply and then delivering it there. So I guess this market is going to boom more and more in the future. And with you saying that those telling that the smallest chips that they're talking about soon probably we will be walking with the computers in our hands, right? It's going to be even smaller than phones that these personal
100%.
computers. You just put it into the any screen, and then it will function as a computer, right?
100%. They get smaller,
Uh,
they get more energy efficient. And one thing also that doesn't get discussed is, and this is one of those bottlenecks. So the way TSMC has 70% of the share in some of these chips, there's another company people don't talk about as much, which is ASML. So there's only one machine that makes chips that are smaller than 5 nanometers in their specs. There's only one company in the world that makes that machine. It's an EUV, an extreme ultraviolet lithography machine, an EUV machine. There's only one company
mhm.
in the world that makes that, and they're developing an even better version of that machine. So there's going to be probably a point, an inflection point in the future where you have an even better version of the EUV machine, and these chip makers are also doing their own R&D. We're going to have probably zero point 0.4. We're going to move from 1.4 to zero point 0.4 nanometer at some point in the near future.
Great. So I'll ask our moderator to put the very quickly. So now I'm making the announcement. If we can write down at the below that the people can benefit from an amazing discount code that we will announce in 2 minutes. So, but I want this is Nafisa to put that there will be a discount code. So anyone who is joining today, please download the Musaffa app um, from the QR code that you can see on the right side of your screen, on the left side of your screen, or just go to the Musaffa on the website, and then when you go to the payment or pricing, whatever, you're gonna get really good discount, inshallah, today. So you can apply and then get this discounted our plans. I believe it applies to all plans in Invest and Invest Plus, if I'm not wrong. so you can get a huge advantage of it. And the reason why we're doing it, we want you to benefit from coming and then being with us and staying in conversation with us, right? So this is a small, like a gift for you for being and supporting us. Now I'll go back to the questions. So TSMC also supports not NVIDIA but Apple, if I'm not wrong, and then also AMD. Which, but why people are saying that NVIDIA is getting more benefit, more competitive advantage from this?
It's a great question. So NVIDIA's sort of placement in the market, it is a bigger part of the market, and NVIDIA itself sort of helps develop the products which are used to develop
Mm,
that AI. So you can look at it sort of as like a flow chart, right?
I see.
TSMC feeds into NVIDIA, and it's NVIDIA
Mhm,
which feeds into all these other companies,
I see.
which is an oversimplification, but that's basically how it works. So what's good for NVIDIA is winds up being downstream good for AI in general, especially in the United States.
Great. So now I was going to ask about the market winners. Market winners or emerging opportunities from this two big deals. First of all, people who were a little bit disappointed with AI's drop at the beginning of the year because they said, "Oh, AI already like reached its high. Now it's going to go down." The same way how it was with Bitcoin, right? Everyone was saying, "Oh, it reached its high when it was 20,000, probably," but it went so much. So probably AI, in the sense of where we reached and how our phone and our technology changed in our lives, now I guess we can sense that even more changes are going to happen. Like no one can deny it, right? We see how our life changed. When I was touching using the first, like with the phone with all the buttons, I never thought that it's going to be like the phone with the screen that I can point with my finger and do all of that, right? So um, now we understood that how the life changed, and you can see how people are leaving comments and supporting us, cheering us. Thank you so much for everyone. Soon, as we put it here, soon Musaffa subscription discount will be announced, so stay tuned. So given all of this, there are going to be more growth, and my understanding, my sense of the market, right? So beyond the headline tech giant, which sectors or companies could benefit from the acceleration of AI infrastructure? What do you think, brother?
Great question. Great question. So yeah, these big companies get all the attention, obviously, because they're the ones closing the deals for a billion, 10 billion, $100 billion. But what you'll always hear is people say, don't just invest in like the gold mine, right? Invest in the people who make the pickaxes, which you use to mine the gold. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's a useful way of thinking about this as well. So if these AI companies are booming, if they're growing, if they're going to be making these $100 billion deals, what are the inputs that they need? So we already spoke about a little bit of one, which is TSMC, right? These chip makers who are necessary for the field. And we already discussed that, but you can take that a step further as well. So TSMC, like I said, these cutting edge chips, there's only one machine that can make those in the world. And there's only one company in the world that makes those machines. So when TSMC makes a deal with the United States and says we're going to spend $500 billion in cash and credit to expand fabrications in the United States, what that means is we're going to need more of those machines in the United States. And the best news, that's the best news in the world for that company, ASML, which makes those machines because they can't go anywhere else. And then ASML uses a laser, which they only get from one company, which is in Germany. So it's great news for that company as well, because if
Yeah,
ASML is selling more machines, they need more of our lasers.
yeah,
Additionally, also think about energy because AI centers, data centers, this sort of bleeding edge tech uses a lot of energy. So energy infrastructure in those regions, in those states, a lot of fabrication centers are being made in Arizona. So looking at energy producers is also a huge deal. Especially there's a lot of interest nowadays in nuclear because it's clean, it's highly efficient, its yield is great. So looking at what are these big energy deals that are likely to be made to fund or to sort of support or to create the infrastructure for this AI and tech boom that we're seeing. Another thing that people don't consider, and this is a bit more of a wild card, and again, none of this is financial advice. These are opinions. Some analysts have said we're doing our own research, but these are just my own opinions. Another thing AI and data centers use a lot of is water, and also chip manufacturers as well. They use a large amount of water, and a lot of chip manufacturers are now being built in Arizona, which is water scarce. So I would say also a place to keep an eye open is water desalination tech in Arizona. So companies that take ocean water, desalinate it so that that water can be pure enough to be used by these data centers and these fabrication centers. So that would be another place to keep an eye open. So yeah, the lesson here is really when you see something in the headline, don't just look at the headline. You got to look, look beyond what you see. Look
Yeah.
at the things in the region as well.
Great, thank you so much, and very very good point that you highlighted that about taking it as an advice. We usually do the disclaimer, but I was, I guess, too excited and I jumped in, so I have to make that disclaimer, and then we'll do towards the end as well. So nothing you hear on this market talk with Musaffa on this our live session is as advice or any professional advice, investment, financial, or legal or accounting advice. It's only for educational, illustrative purposes, informational purposes. Also, consider that every investment involves the risk. Past performance doesn't guarantee the future outcomes. Please be aware that there is a risk involved with any investment. And Musaffa is a SEC registered investment advisor, so we don't advise on any of these calls or any of our webinars or sessions. This is only for informational purposes that you can use information for your additional knowledge. So thank you so much for going in that detail. I also just want to share one thing. So in my recent with AI related topics, I also explored those relevant industries. And you know which one of them was brought up to my attention is HVAC, because you know that you need to maintain these data centers, which are huge, gigantic, and who can build the HVAC, like the cooling systems there? Only these companies who are specializes on this, right? And these HVAC companies have been growing so high. So is another industry that you may look into, right? So,
Good point.
okay, I want to jump in a little bit to the area of the risk and volatility. Are there potential downside risks from trying too much market optimism to AI deal momentum, as we just mentioned a little bit earlier?
100%. Great question. So short answer is yes. There's risk. There's risk in everything, and we got to keep our eyes open. One risk is that of potential overvaluation. So there's a lot of excitement in this space. There's a lot of momentum in this space, and that can drive prices up. That drives valuations up because the market is pricing in expected or rather potential future revenue. But it takes a while to realize and see, okay, well, what's a realistic number actually, right? What is the revenue actually going to look like? What does this actually mean for the economy, for example? So it takes a while for reality to meet our expectations. And sometimes if that happens, if it disappoints, that can cause a bubble to burst, so to speak. So it's something for investors to be careful of. This is an exciting space. It's definitely one to keep an eye on. But we also need to make sure we're not overstretching or being overweight in one sector at the price of other sectors that might be more safe. So
Mm-hmm.
that's the number one thing. And specifically with big deals like this is there's often a lot of headlines about potential deals that are closing, deals that are almost closed. Another thing is just make sure you're staying on top of things and reading carefully, because sometimes a deal, you might hear about a deal for weeks and think, okay, this is a done deal, but it still falls through. I think actually yesterday, Nvidia announced some news coming out that Nvidia might not
Mm-hmm.
go forward with $100 billion deal with OpenAI. So that shows you how this deal, before it was even confirmed, probably drove up OpenAI's stock when it was first announced. And
Mm-hmm.
now it's probably going to cause a bit of a slump in that stock as well. So it's important to keep an open eye, read carefully, make sure you know what's actually happening, not just what people feel is going to. It's very easy to get caught up in that excitement. So that's a major risk, I would say.
Great, awesome. So I have very really good question came from Farouk Abdur. It's a very long name, but Brother Farouk probably starting the beginning of the name. So I will stop a little bit on that one a little bit. So please bear with us. But we promised that in 5 minutes we're going to announce the discount. So I would ask our moderator team, Sister Nafisa on the back end, please put the discount. I want to look at please pay attention to the code. You can use it from the website. Go to the website pricing, and you can use this discount code. I believe it makes the discount up to 50%. I need to confirm it with our team. I don't remember how much is the discount, but this is a really good discount for you to use our Invest Plus plan. So yeah, it's 20%. I got a confirmation. So it's 20%. Thank you so much for everyone. Please use the code. Enjoy it. It adds on top of that 20%. So take full advantage of Invest Plus, and those give you trading platform, right? It's amazing. So Musaffa has launched its true global halal trading platform. Now Muslims can benefit. Now Muslims have the place that they come in, and then their whole trading is within the halal trading platform, right? So, and it's 100% riba free. So we don't make any money, we don't make any interest on the cash that you hold with us. Anything that you have on Musaffa is not going to involve any interest. So you can take full advantage. Not only that, that you see all your favorite halal stocks that are there, the analysis, the compliance, the mysteries there, all of these amazing things. So, but I will come back to the how I learned trade with Musaffa. So we have the educational component. So I'll share a little bit towards the end. Now I want to stay a few last questions, Brother Shah, which is related to halal investing, right? So for Muslim investors focused on halal compliance, what are the unique considerations should be part of the analyzing AI related opportunities, right? Is that interest involvement? Is that like revenues coming from somewhere impure? And then could there be revenues coming not from non-permitted sources in AI company, which is probably rare? What are those things that the Muslim investors need to look at?
Great question. So right now, the good news is tech companies generally are good for us as Muslim investors. Like they're usually their debt to valuation is not too high. Usually they don't have a lot of interest income. So and their business model, like what they're making, is not directly haram at all, right? So making a microchip isn't haram. So that's
Yeah.
really a huge deal for Muslim investors because most investors, most professional investors, hedge funds are slightly overweight tech at the minimum because tech is such an outperforming sector nowadays. And for us, it's also typically halal, which is great news. One thing to
Yeah.
keep an eye on down the road in the next 5 to 10 years is right now they typically don't have a lot of debt, but there's so much expenditure in the future on data centers and things that something to keep an eye on, right? Some of these companies, if they can't raise that money from capital raises, maybe they'll
Mhm.
turn to debt. But right now, at least, the good news is they're typically halal, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, that's amazing. Good news. Thank you. So, do AI companies require additional layer of analysis beyond the standard share screening? And does Musaffa has anything in its tools?
Yeah, so one great thing is we as Muslims we have very strong values that we care a lot about, right? We don't just care about the bare minimum of, okay, is this halal or haram at the bare minimum level. We also want to know, okay, how is this in terms of our deeper values, right? How is this for the environment? How is this for my society around me? How is this for my fellow human being? And so Musaffa has our mystery filter, which is
Yeah.
Musaffa Islamic socially responsible investing filter. And so we scroll not just these tech companies, we scroll everybody for it. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened to me. I need more coffee. We screen, not scroll. We screen
Yeah.
not just these tech companies, we screen other companies as well. So we take a deeper look. And it's necessary for us, not just for these tech companies, right? Because even if what they're doing is halal, if they're putting their money in a certain place that's disagrees with our values, or if they're having a negative impact on the environment, maybe that's something we want to know about as Muslims. And Musaffa, as to our knowledge, at least to my knowledge, is the only global trading platform live right now, alhamdulillah. that not just has Sharia compliance, but also has that ethical filter on top of it to check
Yep.
how is this for human rights, for social values, for ethical concerns, for environmental concerns. So it's something every Muslim I speak to on the investor relations team cares a lot about. And Alhamdulillah, it's something we take care of at Musaffa.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing. Now, it will be really good to go to our platform and I show illustrated directly, let's say on NVIDIA, which was our topic today, and Apple, to show how actually our platform works. If you want to find out any information about these, and also to show about mystery, which is an amazing, and then all of it on the stock page. You want to go to Nvidia's stock page or any stock page, you can find all of these detailed information. So I'll answer one question here: how do you differ from Saturna, Amuna Fund, Zoya, Wahid? So out of that, we are not mutual fund, which I believe Saturna and Amuna is considered that, but we are SEC registered robo advisory, which we obtained in November, and we're launching the robo advisory management, portfolio management, which you will which our Muslim community can benefit. But aside from that, we are heavy research and education platform that you cannot get in any of those, where you can do your own thorough research on not only the Sharia compliance aspect, but so many financial aspects, and to make your great decision by using our filters, by using our educational component, make an amazing, good choice where to invest, right? So, and our understanding, those platforms not have what we have as a research and education, right? So again, so you make your own decision, and then we all these companies are like brothers, right? So we operate in the Sharia compliance, and we all operate together. We treat ourselves as brothers, right? Who are helping some community. But every platform has their own cons and pros. So you want to do your own research and find out. Okay, now I'll go a little bit in deep for you to understand. So that from Instagram, that question which came for comparison, you can actually look at our platform and understand right now. And I will answer also about the how to learn about the trade. So if we go to NVIDIA, so here's the search button, our main place where you can find all of this information, right? Let me go to NVIDIA. And we were talking a lot about NVIDIA today. You can see the whole chart. It's looks beautiful, which is making it this stock keep going up and up. So for the Sharia compliance, it is halal and it's A minus, which shows, if you look at the report actually, so which gives the very detailed report. You can even see data set, or like you click under it and it will show you all the information. So interest income is coming very small amount, which passes this 95% with flying colors. So, and then for the past interest bearing assets and securities, it's only 2%, 249 of its entire market cap. And also interest bearing debt is a very small amount, right? If you compare it to its market cap. So this is very, very strong Sharia compliant. But people would say, oh, but NVIDIA is involved in some other things that makes it not good for Muslims, etc. So you can come to Musaffa's socially responsible investing score, and you can see that it is out of 5. It is very low in terms of not super low, but somewhere in the middle, right? It's goodish. It's close to fair. So it's not excellent. Muslims would want to see the excellent ones. And all of this shows you in different analysis. Here we look at deep, more other areas of Islamic principles that companies you would want to put them based on those principles and analyze. For example, the community impact and social controversies, this company under the Maslaha is very low, right? Labor practices probably good. Product and sector involvement is doing good things. It's it a good utility for the society. Environment responsibilities is very good. I guess it's responsible. Ethical governance is good too. But there is something you want to look at, the social controversies, probably any human rights violations, whatever. You need to look into that. And then I go to Apple. Oh, just to tell you, here you get a lot of information about the financial ratios, statements. All this data is given here, right? And comparisons. You want to look at the forecast. You can see how the forecast is showing. And you can see the revenue forecast. All this data is given. Earnings per share, which is one of the main indicators, right? It shows that it's going to grow. So all of this data, you can find it. And then if you go to Apple, is another one that we discussed today. The same way, you can see it's growing beautifully. One of the very strong companies. It's C plus though, because some of its revenue comes from non-halal sources. It's only 96, which is really close to probably failing. It used to be 95 and something. It become a little bit better. That's why it was C minus. Now it's C plus. So interest-bearing assets is not too high, and interest-bearing debt is also not too high. And again, you can see that it's even lower than it was 367. I believe this one is 337, which is a little bit lower. So you can look at these things. What are the issues, right? So this is additional thing our company put together for your analysis. You can use our Halal stock screener, but our one of our users was asking, how can I learn to trade? So considering that it was a thorny point and many people raised it, what we did, we announced under Invest Plus, you can get Invest Plus. I'm showing from Canada, that's why it's showing Canadian in Canadian dollars. But if you come, you can see this component. It says 3 private one-on-one education sessions. These are dedicated for you to teach investing fundamentals, foundation of the halal investing, and first your trade on Musaffa, right? We will onboard you. We will show you. Basically, all of this is dedicated for you to have a really good jump start for your trading, inshallah. So it's going to be very helpful for you. So considering that has been an issue for our community, because they're not aware how to invest, how to place their trades, etc., how to onboard. We dedicated, but this is included in this. You don't have to pay. But if you say, no, I want to stay with Invest, but I want to try one of these courses, they have their own separate pricing. I believe it's not too expensive, of course. You can take a look at those arrangements as well. Always reach out to our support team. They will guide you with all the steps, with all the information. If you want to go and then explore the courses separately, you can find it from here. When you click, so you also have our Learn, which is amazing. This one is one of our best tools. And then if you want to do, I believe the courses I don't see here, but separate there are courses that you can take advantage of. Yes, so there are separate courses for you to take advantage of how to trade, right? How to do your trades. So and then learn about halal investing, and that happens on one-on-one trading courses. So please take a look and take a full benefit of this. I'm going back to the sharing again. There's a discount code that you can take advantage. It's MarTalk 520. Use it. Don't and it will be live until Tuesday, right? So Tuesday is going to be your last day to take full advantage of it. So the question is, how do Musaffa mitigate risk and loss for us? So when your funds are not under our management, which is robo advisory, which is going to be launched in March. If there we have the systems, we will put the different portfolios, and based on those portfolios, your portfolio will be managed, but under our algorithm, right? But again, we don't whatever you do your own trades, we don't mitigate those risks. You do your research, but we have put the platform for your research. Okay. And again, at the end, I want to highlight that anything that we shared here, none of this is investment advice or any professional legal accounting financial advice. You do your own research. Please consider that every investment involves the risks, and past performance of any stocks is not a guarantee of the future, right? So I have to make all of these disclaimers. And we are SEC registered investment advisor, but that does not mean anything that we're talking here is considered as advice, right? So we have to be able to communicate such information through this amazing live sessions. And I thank everyone for today's coming and being with us. It was very lively, lots of people asking lots of questions. So please take advantage of all our platform features and tools. Be successful, and we are here every Saturday. Okay, so come and enjoy. We're discussing very interesting topics, and I thank Brother Shah for his time. I guess we have to depart from here. It was very, very interesting session. Thank you so much for everyone.
Thank you so much. And thank you for having me as well, Brother Anad. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you. Assalamu alaikum. Bye.